Hi everyone, and welcome to this demo. Today I'm going to show how we can use Portainer Edge capabilities to automatically deploy and manage codesys runtimes and PLC application across a fleet of Edge devices. Let's begin by looking at the overall architecture. Here in this diagram we can see the setup I'll be using today. We have a fleet of Wago CC100 Edge devices. Each device is running a lightweight Portainer Edge agent, and in the upper part we can see the Portainer server, which will be allowing me to manage deployments remotely and safely to the edge. And through this setup, we'll use that Portainer server to deploy the codesys runtime and the custom PLC application automatically using the matching logic provided by the Portainer server. In particular, the PLC application is just an application that will make the CC100 devices LEDs start to blink, and we can see it in the second video. Where once we deploy the application, we can see each of the devices start running the application. So let's switch over to my Portainer dashboard here. Here is my Portainer instance already running and ready to manage my Edge fleet. The first step is to onboard my 3 devices. As I've already mentioned, the Edge agent is already running on within the 3 devices, so they should be already in the waiting room. The 3 devices here. We'll start with just 2 devices, and later on I'll add the third one to show how it instantly joins the same deployment by just assigning it to the same Edge group without any manual configuration or additional setup. So first of all, we'll just onboard these 2 devices, and then we'll create an Edge group under which we'll try to group them. We'll call the Edge group, let's say, codesys fleet, for example. Fleet, and we'll just add the 2 devices here. This group will then act as a logical unit so that I can deploy application to all its members at once without having to configure each one individually. Next, we'll use an Edge stack to deploy the codesys runtime and the PLC application using a Git repository. So let's click here. We'll add the stack. We'll call it maybe codesys fleet Edge stack. We'll target our codesys fleet. As we mentioned, we're trying to use a repository. In particular, we have this repository. This is the aspect of my repository. Basically, we have a Docker compose here, which consists just of a container running the codesys runtime, and then we can see a bunch of configurations which are basically the application that should make the LEDs blink within the 3 Edge devices. So we'll just deploy this Docker compose to the Edge by reference it here. We'll just copy the link here, set it up here. Since the repository is public, there's no need for authentication. We can see that here that we can check the different repositories and branches. We'll just keep the main one. So we'll select Docker Compose from here, and finally we'll enable GitOps Edge configuration, as we have configurations here. Each group of configurations are under a folder named after the Edge device. So once we enable the GitOps Edge configuration and set the local file system and directory, we can see how we can set up these configurations as well. So if you go here, configs, we can select the matching the device matching rule, which will match the folder name with the Portainer Edge ID, as in our use case, that's the case. And finally, we can deploy the stack and see finally how the application will be deployed and the LEDs will start blinking. So as soon as I trigger the deployment, Portainer will push the configuration to both edge devices. So after that, we should look at the physical setup and both devices. We should see the LEDs blinking. That confirms that the PLC application were deployed successfully through Portainer. Now comes the interesting part. I'll onboard the third device just by adding it to the same edge group, and without me doing anything, let's go back to the waiting room. I'll just onboard it. So as I said, without me doing anything, Portainer will detect the new device and applies the same edge stack configuration automatically. And within a few seconds, the runtime will start on the third device, and its LED begins blinking just like the other two. So let's go back to the edge stack. We can see the third device joined our edge stack. So in this way, we can see that every device stays in sync, deployments are consistent, and new devices on board with not much effort and without any manual intervention, which suggests how Portainer can manage industrial edge infrastructure, by making it simple, scalable, and completely automated. That's it for today. Bye.